Did you know that a whopping 61% of employees feel their job is nothing like they imagined? That's right, folks. It's a staggering number when you think about it. Imagine walking into a new job with high hopes and dreams, only to find out that the reality is far from what you expected. It's a common story, and it's happening to more than half of the workforce. More than half of us walk through those office doors or log in from our kitchen tables with a head full of dreams, only to have reality slap us in the face with a cold, soggy fish. We've all been there. The excitement of starting a new job quickly fades as we realize that the promises made during the interview were just that, promises. The reality is often a far cry from the dream job we envisioned. That shiny job title loses its luster when you're knee-deep in paperwork, and the tasks you thought would be exciting turn out to be mundane and repetitive. The endless stream of emails, the never-ending meetings, and the constant pressure to perform can quickly drain your enthusiasm. It's no wonder so many employees feel disillusioned. The dynamic team you were promised turns out to be a bunch of Debbie Downers, and the collaborative environment you were looking forward to is more like a battlefield of egos and office politics. The lack of engagement and enthusiasm from your colleagues can be incredibly demotivating. It's hard to stay positive when everyone around you seems to have given up. And the free coffee? Instant, lukewarm, and smells vaguely of despair. It's a small thing, but it can be a daily reminder of how far the reality is from the dream. Where the little perks that were supposed to make the job enjoyable often fall short, adding to the overall sense of disappointment. So what can we do about it? How can we bridge the gap between expectation and reality? Stay tuned as we explore some solutions and strategies to help you navigate the modern workplace and find fulfillment in your career. I, your humble narrator, recently fell victim to this expectation versus reality nightmare. Fresh out of college, diploma still warm from the printer, I landed what I thought was my dream job, junior associate creative strategist at a hot new tech startup. The perks, the ping pong table, the beanbag chairs. I was ready to change the world, one app update at a time. Little did I know I was in for a rude awakening. See, the thing about entering the workforce is no one tells you about the fine print. We're bombarded with images of glamorous corner offices, brainstorming sessions fueled by gourmet coffee, and that elusive work-life balance. But the reality? It's more like fluorescent lights, stale coffee, and working late to meet deadlines set by someone who clearly doesn't understand the concept of a weekend. My aha moment came during week 1. It was a typical Monday morning, and I was still trying to find my footing in this new job. The office was buzzing with energy, and I was eager to make a good impression. Remember that dynamic team I mentioned? They were a whirlwind of activity, always on the move, always in meetings, and always juggling multiple projects. It was inspiring, but also a bit intimidating. Turns out dynamic was code for chronically overworked and fueled by caffeine. The office ran on coffee, and it was the lifeblood that kept everyone going. You could see it in their eyes, the tiredness masked by the temporary jolt of energy from their coffee cups. My first assignment? The dreaded coffee run. It seemed like a rite of passage for every new employee. Armed with a long list of orders, I set off to the nearest coffee shop, determined not to mess it up. While waiting in line, I overheard a conversation between two CEOs. They were standing right in front of me, and I couldn't help but listen in. I expected to hear them talk about high-stakes business deals or cutting-edge innovations, but to my surprise, they weren't discussing billion-dollar deals or revolutionary tech. Instead, they were talking about something much more mundane. Nope, they were arguing over who had the worst commute. One of them complained about the traffic, while the other grumbled about the crowded trains. It was a heated debate, and they were both passionate about their grievances. That's when it hit me. Even the people at the top are just trying to figure it out. They have their own struggles and challenges, just like everyone else. You know what? It was a humbling realization, and it made me see my own journey in a new light. I realized that no matter where you are in your career, we're all just trying to navigate through the chaos and find our way. And sometimes, a simple coffee run can teach you more than you ever expected. Now, you might think this is where I tell you I dramatically quit, tore up my degree, and opened a beachfront bar in Bali. Not quite. The reality was far less glamorous, but equally transformative. I stayed put, right there in that office, surrounded by the mundane and the routine. It was a decision that would change everything. See, the funny thing about unexpected realities is they can lead to unexpected opportunities. Sometimes the very situations that seem to trap us are the ones that set us free. I began to see my surroundings in a new light, realizing that every challenge was a chance to grow, every obstacle an opportunity to innovate. While initially I was stuck doing menial tasks, I started paying attention. I noticed the inefficiencies, the gaps in communication, and the areas that were crying out for improvement. It was like a puzzle, and I was determined to solve it. I took on the tasks no one else wanted, not because I had to, but because I saw potential in them. I listened to the conversations, observed the office dynamics, and identified areas where I could actually contribute. I became a student of my environment, learning from every interaction, every meeting, every casual hallway chat. I took notes, not just on what was said, but on what was left unsaid. I began to understand the unspoken rules and the hidden opportunities. I started pitching ideas, small at first, but gradually they gained traction. My confidence grew with each positive response. I realized that I had a voice, and that voice could make a difference. I began to lead brainstorming sessions, present my ideas with conviction, and slowly but surely, I carved out a niche for myself. It wasn't the path I had envisioned, but it was a path that led to growth, fulfillment, and unexpected success. My point is this: sometimes the job we think we want and the job that's right for us are two different things. It's about being adaptable, being willing to learn, and most importantly, being open to the unexpected. That dream job might be waiting for you, but it might look a little different than you imagined. So, dear viewers, I leave you with this. What about you? Have you ever started a job that was nothing like you expected? Share your stories in the comments below. And for more career advice that doesn't involve ping pong tables or beanbag chairs, stay tuned.